there! Welcome to another episode of Galaxy Gardens. My name is Chrissy, and today we are going to see exactly how many things we can plant in a day because we're running a bit behind. We've been doing a lot of traveling lately, and that means about a week off a schedule for planting our greens, but we're right on time for planting everything else. So let's go check it out. If this is the first time you've seen any of our videos, welcome, and let me get you up to speed. So springtime is a great time to be foraging, so we have a number of goodies here. Here I have some catnip, which is just coming back perennially in our raised beds. Starting to get some shiitakes that I'm drying out. In this jar I have fresh blackberry leaves, which have been harvested before the plants go to flower, ideally before they start making flower buds. And what you do is you pretty much muddle them with a rolling pin, stack them together, and we'll be fermenting them for about 6 weeks. And at the end of it has a very nice blackberry flavor and kind of tastes like oolong tea. It's pretty good. Next up, we have some rose petals from our Alba rugosa rose, which has started flowering. We have mullein drying from our last video, which you can check out on our channel. Came out like last week or the week before. Lots of lilacs drying. And over here, we have our sweet potato slips, which have been hanging out till their nights warmed up. And I believe tonight moving forward, our nights are supposed to be no lower than the mid-50s. So we're gonna be planting them out, if not today, this week. And we just have some more mullein over there. So there's an update on our dried goods. Everything else has been put away. Now let's head outside. This is everything we need to transplant. So over here, that's all tomatoes. This is peppers and eggplant. It's a sage I recently got. This tray is a combination of cardoon, Aunt Molly ground cherry, petite Canadian tobacco. This is either chard or cauliflower, I don't remember. Some California poppy, which we're also going to be direct sowing some fennel, and some dill that desperately needs to get transplanted. Moving on, we have some other stuff. Some nasturtiums. I have some in the hanging baskets on this porch, which is nice. Basil, lettuce. There's some bachelor's buttons, edible chrysanthemum, I think is this one, toothache plant, some other herbs, chamomile, Chinese pink celery, gosh, what is that? Rosemary, thyme, leeks, and bunching onion. And then up here we have Mexican marigold, anise hyssop, and salad burnet. So let's take these all in the back and I'll meet you there. We got everything transported back here. You can see we have it distributed a little bit just to get out of the way. Now I'm going to refer to the chart that I made. If you want to refer to our, I think it's called the Planning Our 2023 Garden video, you can check out what that is. But we're going to start distributing everything around and I'll show you how we get it in. We're gonna move some stuff around, but basically all that's left over are some flowers. We have some chicory, corn mash. I could go over here. This is some collards, which we'll find a different spot for these. Over here, I believe this is the cauliflower, fennel. So most everything here, this is our butterfly pea plant, this one back here. We're gonna put those somewhere else. All the ground cherries we're gonna put on the other side of the fence over here along with the flowers. But like the cardoon and the tobacco are going over by the chimney coop. All these empty beds are gonna be a mix of drying beans and sorghum and green beans. So that's how I ended up kind of moving everything around. So now you just gotta put it in the beds and make sure you put the right varieties in the right spot. And of course we gotta move our little tomato trellises here to their new homes. And be all set. You can see something in this bed right there, and right there is catnip, which came back and is now perennial. We got 2 cats, so never have too much of that around. Unfortunately, you have to buy straw sometimes. Still comes with seeds. It's not hurting anything. It's really easy to pull out. Just gotta take an extra couple minutes to do it. But our potatoes are coming up really, really well. I believe these are the Purple Sun that we planted here. Can't wait to see what they look like around the end of July and August. I was just pulling up our old tomato trellises and disturbed this little person's house. Pretty cute though. We're gonna relocate them to the woods. I'm gonna give you a new house, bud. I don't know why this year, but it seems like every time we have a planting day, it just happens to be the windiest day. It's really nice out, but we're gonna start putting everything in, and I'll kind of review quickly how we do that, but it's not too hard. And if you want to check out a little bit more in-depth videos, check out our videos from last year. Just like last year, we're going to be putting 8 tomatoes in a bed, and we're going to be focusing, kind of spacing them out. They'll be about 1 foot apart from each other. However, I was really not happy with the soil we got this year. It was okay for the first month or so. And with these are Brad's Atomic Grape this year. I'm just gonna squeeze around the outside a little bit, flip them upside down, and pop them out. You can see there's some very nice roots. And tomatoes, you can just rip it apart. And that's it. We're gonna dig a deep hole. And some people like to put them in and have them go up like that, so this whole part is sideways. We'll be doing a bit of a combo of that. But yeah, oh God. When I was starting our tomatoes, it was really hard to find the soil that we wanted, because the soil we usually get is sold from a place that's no longer in business. So I couldn't get the stuff we usually like, so I tried to just make do with what we had. And even with giving everything a little bit of extra fertilizer, unfortunately, we have very skinny tomatoes. So let's get through doing the rest of these. If you're planting tomatoes, tomatoes will root out pretty much anywhere that they're buried. So the deeper you can plant these, the more roots that they'll make, and you'll have a really strong foundation by the time they start flowering and you get tomatoes coming in. I got some backup tomatoes too from the store. They are a Jet Star. Oh, it's not even in focus. It's a Jet Star variety. And I got those just in case. I really don't want the full 6-pack, but what are you gonna do? So for this bed, this whole side here is gonna be Brad's Atomic Grape. They did great for us last year. I think we ended up with about 6 plants. We still have a lot of it in the freezer. So I figured we'll dial it back a little bit and just do 4 of this variety. It's great to have on hand. Very smoky flavor to it, which is cool. And very prolific. So I'm really looking forward to them doing well again this year. I should probably be using that kneeler sitter thing that Greg got me, but that's okay. This is all we're doing. We've been really aching to get out. I think next year I might even start them a couple weeks later than I did this year, and this year I started them a lot later than I usually do. But it really depends on what your weather is that year, because sometimes you can start them sooner and it ends up getting warmer sooner, and vice versa. You could start them later, it gets warmer later. Just do the best you can. And I'm not gonna be cutting them. I already cut them back a little bit because they're getting tall inside, but they'll be fine. I have 3 herbs that we're gonna be putting in this bed as well. We're gonna be putting them probably in the middle. And one of that's gonna be oregano. We already have some oregano over by one of our fruit trees, and it's doing great, so I figured why not put more here. We have some Tulsi basil, which is one of my favorite kind, and we're gonna put some dill, and hopefully they start taking over like they have in some other areas, and then you don't have to start anymore the next year. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these tomatoes and herbs in, and then we'll move over to the peppers. I'll show you what we have, and then I'll kind of do a general rounding when we're done here. Tomatoes are all in, along with our herbs. Like I said, this is Tulsi, dill, and oregano. Over here, we have edible chrysanthemum, chamomile, toothache plant. Over here, we have thyme, rosemary, and basil. It'll look really nice when everything starts filling in. So now, let's put in our peppers. We're losing sunlight, so I'm gonna call it a day. Let me show you pretty briefly what we did today, and we're gonna finish this up tomorrow. But today being a wrap, there's all the tomatoes. We had a couple extra fennel. And in here, we had 2 broccolis that just didn't like this bed, but everything's doing good. This cabbage, by the way, doing phenomenal. I give everything a drink, so it'll perk up. It'll look really nice tomorrow. And here we put all of our lettuce, corn mash, pink celery, and in the gaps we'll be putting green beans. That's all that's left to plant. We'll get to it tomorrow along with our grains. I'd say it's a good day. As we come over here, you see we put our strawberry fence up, our Franken fence, left over of all our other fences. Gotta weed out the onions, but otherwise the strawberries doing really well. And then we put a bunch of herbs around the trees Over here we have Mexican marigold, some hyssop, salad brunettes over there. That's our oregano that came back. And more hyssop, and our chives are about to go to flower. I'll see you tomorrow and we'll get the rest in. Hey, we're back, day 2. We're gonna finish planting all of our starts, but I might have to do the greens another day, so let's go check it out. So everything we planted yesterday is doing good. So we just need to find a spot for the cardoon. The tobacco I'm debating putting out right now because it's very sensitive, but we'll see. We'll plant the flowers, we'll plant the ground cherries in the weeds. But everything over here is looking pretty good. Perked up after we gave it some water yesterday. I'm just not happy at all with our tomatoes this year. Not happy at all. The peppers seem to do fine with the soil mix. They're the exact same thing, but what are you gonna do? Let's do better next year. Can't really do anything about it now. So we need a little bit of a point to show you these earlier, but I can't show you these again. A lot of our cabbages should start heading up. They're all 60 to 100 day varieties. So like these 2 rows are all mermaid's tail. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we should have some little small to medium sized cabbages and a little bit of broccoli. So I'm over here yelling at the freaking chickens to get out of my potatoes. These ones, which my fault. I put them next to the chicken coop. That's on me. Followed them over here. You gotta check this out. So we moved our pink lemonade blueberry over here. There's just a little bit of coming in, but more importantly, hello, we have grapes coming in. These are seedless pink Reliance, and those are the first grapes coming in ever. So hopefully we get some. That'd be pretty cool. We'll see. These are orange daylilies, which is a very nice addition. Definitely recommend. And also, ladies, last video I mentioned that Fletcher wasn't feeling well. Well, so I was millet. We had to put her down. So this is where she is. Something already tried to get to her, so we made sure they couldn't. But she's a good girl. We did what we could. And it was her time, so now she gets to be among the millet in the yard. And our snowbank blackberries, which we should get some white blackberries soon. So there's the rest of the girls. We're just hanging out. Alright, let's get to planting because I'm going to lose the sunlight in about an hour. I originally was going to use this bed for cabbages, but it turns out all our other cabbages fit in the other beds. So this is pretty much free space until the fall. What I'm going to do is put all our extra stuff in here. I have Aunt Molly ground cherries, which I was going to put outside the garden. But I got room in here. I have 13 of these. That'll fit right here. Even if they get big, that's fine. I have these tomatoes from the store that I got as backup. I'll keep them here, and if one of our other tomatoes dies, we'll just transplant it. What's this? Cauliflower. And I think this is collards. Yeah, this is Georgia Southern collards. We're just gonna fit everything in here and see how much we can get in. And that's what I'm gonna do with this bed. This looks pretty good. So we have 4 jet star tomatoes, 4 cauliflowers, collards in the middle, and all back here are ground cherries. Ground cherries you can plant relatively close together. They tend to sprawl out more than they go up, so that'll fill in pretty nicely. So now, over here with the cabbages, I'll start filling in with leeks. And these are American flag leeks. We'll see how they do. I'm gonna start with 1 and leave the rest in the cups. Just in case these die, I'll let the other ones go for a little while longer. We got all these leeks planted in. I don't know how well you can see it, but we have 2 rows in between here. A row at the front and a row towards the end there. And we had some extra, so I put it in the bed behind us. So we'll see. Don't love starting alliums from seed, but don't know where to get starts. So we gotta start them by seed or by the little, what do you call them? Just the little bulbs you put in for onions, but for leeks, we do them by seed. So we'll see how they do. Woo! All right. It took a little bit longer than expected. So the last thing we got in was some bunching onions I put with one of the other tomatoes and our cardoon. I planted them a little bit close together, but I'm not mad about it. So the cardoon's gonna go here, and then we're probably only gonna fill up to like there in the middle with the Petite Canadian tobacco. I'm not gonna put it out right now because it's supposed to get hot in a couple days. And right when you plant tobacco, when it's small like that, it's very sensitive to light, and I don't have time to put up a shade cloth. So the cardoon will be fine. I just gotta water that in. But eventually, gotta put the tobacco in here. And then I'm gonna have some extra space. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Maybe we'll put more of the leeks and stuff over here. But the girls are doing good. So, I'm just gonna water, and then we'll get to this another day. Thanks for joining me these past couple of days of planting. I'm going to make this a part 1, and we'll come back to it because we have so many, ooh, that's a fly. We have so many grains to plant. We have legumes to plant. We have some more flowers to put out, and we have more flowers to direct sip. So we're gonna come back next time and do that. But if you want to see some updates in between videos, check out the link in the description. Follow us on social media. Always put updates up on Instagram. Otherwise, I'll see you for part 2 next time. Bye.